So welcome everybody to the fourth in a series of Trinity Essence healings. This is the fourth month that we've had Trinity in existence with multidimensional healing. And the first thing that we're going to do is just welcome you to the sacred space of receiving, the sacred space of grace. And the sacred space is filled with divine intelligence, divine consciousness of what I call original source, this team of helpers, of master healers, a lot of divine mother energy, which is Shakti energy, and master healers of Shiva energy. Christ consciousness tends to show up. The earth realm, the Gaia energy, tree energy. It's just filled with all sorts of higher consciousness, frequencies, higher consciousness, essences, magic, the magic that our ancestors, our foremothers and forefathers all knew was possible. So we're returning back to this possibility again with Trinity Essence. So we're just going to welcome them. And on the count of 3, I'm going to bring an angel into your spine and see if you can sense it. 3, 2, 1. Angel Jophiel coming into your system. Feels like a little bit of home, like you just walked in to home. And home is the place where you feel most comfortable, where you can relax, where you can just be yourself. So the angel Jophiel is the angel of illuminating beauty within, and she does that, helping you with the session where you need it, how you need it. Make sure you get what you receive, not too much, not too little, just exactly what you need. And so we also start every session with a little bit of sound vibration. The sound vibration, sound healing is such a magnificent, there's drummers, there's crystal bowls, there's rattles, there's chanting. And so I'm going to sing a Sanskrit mantra, which is really just the sound of the divine, the sound of home. And so if you want to join on your end, go ahead, or just allow the sound of Om to move in, around, and through you. I'm going to take 3 deep breaths in, and on the out breath, saying the sound of Om. Are you ready? First deep breath in. And the second deep breath in. Beautiful. And the third deep breath in. Do you notice how much stillness that created? Chanting Sanskrit mantras, humming, even gargling, making noise, making joyful noise. Such a valuable tool. So we're going to bring in Trinity, and we just do it by intending. Call it in. Trinity Essence has arrived. So just take a moment to see if you can notice anything different. Trinity is a very subtle energy because it's so grace-filled. But what I'm going to do for you here today is break it up into its 3 parts. We're going to take some time just to feel each one of the aspects of Trinity Essence. And the first one we're going to explore is earth magic. So for the next few minutes, we're just going to ask Trinity Essence to manifest the qualities of earth magic in this group field. And notice what you're experiencing. Again, there's no right or wrong answers here. Just notice. Be curious. Earth magic is really a quality that, to me, impacts the physical body the most. But it's also an invitation to remember your origins, your primordial self that was attached to the earth when it was all frequency, like the qualities of Lemuria or Mu or Atlantis, where frequency was the currency. So it reminds you of those qualities within you and resurrects them a little bit, restores them a little bit in your physical body. And again, to me, the healing of home comes forward with earth magic. And now the second part of the quality of Trinity Essence that's coming forward is Devi Grace. Devi Grace is the magic of the divine in female form, but also the magic of unified divine. And Devi magic is Devi Grace is filled with so much of the lightness of being, inviting you to remember that spark of life is universal in nature. To me, it seems to go right to the heart. It brings a sense of joy, happiness, again, beingness. And the third part of Trinity Essence is tree magic. Tree magic is the tree of truth, tree of life. It is ancient magic, very shamanistic, but it also is a connecting energy of as above, so below. So see if it feels any different. To me, it's very unifying, very universal. Now all three together. There we go. Grace mixes with the original primordial essence of the earth. Connectivity, symbiosis of the tree magic. And then with the remaining time left, we're going to give it an intention to really explore what's in the way of being more connected to the earth. Because right now we have a lot of division going on. We have climate change, we have war, we have strife, struggle, April specifically, Mercury retrograde. So a number of people we talked to earlier, their intention was to ground. So the first and foremost, we set the intention, can say it 3 times. What prevents us from really connecting to the earth? We want to embody more of the earth in our body. And so let's start with an exercise that I do in my group healings where we breathe down through our grounding, our root chakra, our grounding cord. And for some of you, this is your first time. So I'm just going to upgrade and update your grounding cord. To the highest frequency possible. That means that whatever energy is coming in, it's like an upgrade, an update. You know, you get updates to apps. This is your update to your grounding cord. There we go. That immediately helps some of you. So now let's try it out, shall we? Let's move down that grounding cord, breathing, using your breath. And breathing down into the very center of the earth. And connecting with this multi-universal Gaian being. Because she's dimensional. And breathing it back up into you. Let's take our time breathing it back in. Let's pull it into our feet, into our ankles and shins and calves, into all the fascia, the tissue, the oxygen, the cells, the blood, any of fluids, the bone marrow, into the knees, the cartilage, into the thighs, the skeleton, into your flesh and skin, up into your pelvic region, There we go. Your stomach, your kidneys, all your organs in your midsection, up your spine, into your chest, heart, shoulders, down each of your arms, into your forearms, hands, fingers, and back up your neck into your face, skull, brain, ears, eyes, nose, mouth, jaw, very important, and up into your crown. Breathing back down into the earth, and as earth breathing up into you, do a body check. Are you more relaxed, more centered, more anchored? So, how I like to use Trinity Essence is by following the chakras. Not all, there's more than 7 chakras. We have the multi-universal in the center of the earth. We have the subroot first chakra as well as the 7 traditional chakras. And so following this intention to really embody more of the earth. Let's see where it takes us as we point Trinity at the center of the earth. Let's just start there. Whew. And what came up right away is this guttural fear of being grounded. Now, why would you fear that? Because there's a part of you that has a sense memory of past lives, your karmic history in the earth, and a part of you that's really hidden, that's in your subconscious, that is connected to your ancestral history. In the earth, when we connect to the earth, this multi-universal return, this deep chakra, there's a lot of karma in between. Yep. And so it's a sense of being lost. Oh, yeah. It's a loss of magic. So we're going to work on the loss of magic. So why are we working on that? Well, for 60,000 years or more, our ancestors, the elders, the wise women and men, the medicine men and women, the shamans, the sages, the wisdom keepers, all knew that life was animated. That energy flowed through not just water, but it was in the air. It was up in the planets and the sky as Father Sun and, of course, Mother Earth. It was in the animals. It was in the rocks and trees, and everything could talk to each other, could relate to each other. It's only in the past couple of thousand years, and especially the last 500 years, where we've evolved out of magic. And so, what I think we're working on here today, with whatever time we have left, is a return of magic. But how do we return magic? We have to work on that feeling, that sense of loss first. You can't just go right to love and say, I'm going to live love. You have to go into your system and say, well, what isn't in a place of love? There's a wonderful Rumi quote, I think, that talks about that. So here in the center of the earth, the multi-universal energy center, we're just going to let Trinity deconstruct, what we call transform, energy of that sense of loss, of your magical beingness. And it can feel just like you feel lost anywhere, like you just moved to a new city and you're trying to find your way home and you don't have this amazing GPS thing and you haven't really memorized landmarks yet. And you just there's a sense of panic, there's a sense of um, disconnect, of not familiar. So Trinity with its trio of magical consciousness just gently dissolves it where it's most needed. And then immediately transforms it into a restoration, the sense of magic. And we're going to be following all of the chakras and doing the same thing in kind of a quick sample function. When we do this in our other group healings, we take our time. Sometimes, especially in something really big, it may be split up into 4-hour-long sessions because it's a really big collective issue that's important for the now. And that's why I call it earthwork. But here, the sense of restoring magic is a return to curiosity, a return to fun, a return to that time where there were faeries and elves and sprites and angels and mystical beings and creatures of all kinds. Wow, what a beautiful session. So putting in Trinity structures here to, if you go back and replay this, because again, we're going to do a quick version of this, it will deepen. Putting structures to mark the place in your multi-universal earth energy chakra, and also help to restore and rebuild magic within, the remembrance. Because ultimately, the illusion of being human is a forgetfulness, right? Every single experience you've ever had, what school you went to, what church you were brought in or taught, your teachers, your parents, your siblings, all told you who you are and what you like and what you believe. Magic wasn't really a part of that, was it? It's now coming into what I call the earth star, but it's actually the subroot first chakra. It's how you connect to the earth. And for some of you, there's a little bit of fear there. That's okay. Trinity just clears it. It goes right to that sense of lost magic. How do I define magic? Well, it's not the magic, of course, of our magicians that you see in nightclubs or as entertainers. No, it's that animated spark, divine consciousness that, again, our ancestors knew, our elders knew, our shamans knew, the indigenous know right now. They live it right now. Wise men in Tibet and India and gurus and wisdom keepers. Again, a sense of fear here in the Earth Star. So when we set the intention of what's preventing you from embodying the Earth, Trinity says, what it is that you've lost your magic. You've forgotten. There we go. Yeah, we're moving a little bit quick here. This is something that bears repeating and replaying. Again, this is a sample healing, and they're usually a little bit longer. Yeah, the sense of loss has a disconnect, disassociation. Like we weren't taught that in school. It can't exist. Or even what our religions say that not only doesn't that exist, that is actually blasphemous. That's wrong. That's demonic. That's, all the different myths we have surrounding witchcraft and paganism and Wiccan that we learn from our churches. All wrong. All wrong. But those beliefs are ingrained in a lot of people. I almost didn't do this work myself because I knew my family would approve, and they don't. And that's okay, because magic, restoration of magic, is something that will take as long as it takes. But it starts with you. It starts with you. So there we go. Now it's moving into an alignment and attunement with the restoration. I'm going to create new blueprints here, new upper-dimensional blueprints. So this is like an attunement. Some would call it a light body activation, but those are just words for alchemical transformation, for moving from one state of consciousness to another. In this case, we're moving from a sense of loss of magic to remembering. Is it going to be instantaneous? I don't know. Each of you is different. The way you hold this, what prevents it from really rooting and being a possibility, going to be different for each of you. But we're restoring the blueprints, the remembrance, so that when you're ready, it's going to be like a light bulb, like, aha. And for some of you, you already know it. So it's just enhancing and amplifying it for you. That sense that you are magical. That manifesting things is simply bringing it into being. More than just believing, knowing it from the core of your center, and then allowing the rest of magic to honor that knowing and honor that intention in however it's best for the entire interface. And that's why we work on the interface of collective consciousness, because when you set an intention, it's never just your intention, because you are connected to everyone and everything. It is a universal intention, and the universe answers it as a part that universal request. And so the way it comes forward may not be exactly what you asked, but it is the universal answer that's best for you in that moment in time. So now we're going to switch the focus up into the root chakra. Yeah, the pattern is the same. You run into fear, maybe a little bit of disconnect. Here in the root, there's some survival fear for those of you who are divine or light workers or magical in other lives, and you were persecuted and killed. We have big swaths of time. Because remember, dimensionally, we're working on the lives that are appropriate for this intention. So there's big swaths of time in our history where magical people were not treated very fairly. In fact, they were persecuted, they had to hide, or They might have even been killed. And so that fear can be embedded within your energy system. So when we try to return to the restoration of magic, that fear raises its little hand and says, "No, I'm here." There we go. Yeah, and indeed, some of you have that. So I'm going to put structures in there for replaying it because we don't have time to really move through all that karmic or genetic or collective history. And if you listen to the replay, if you're so guided, then this may just be enough. We'll pick up right where we left off. Yeah, there were some deeper survival fears in the root chakra. Now here's a general disconnect, which to me feels like apathy. The last 3,000 to 500 to 3,000 years, our human consciousness, the collective, was very apathetic to magic. Our anthropologists looked at the indigenous, looked at the magical cultures that revered the earth, that revered animation, that revered subtle energies, frequencies, and they just position them as backwards because they didn't understand it. And so what did our scientists do? They went to the anthropologists to try and understand what's going on. And so these myths, this misconstrued energy, this distorted energy, this illusioned energy about magic became a reality. I just listened to a wonderful podcast where they just literally claim that in the history of time, 99.9% of our history as humans has magic in it. And it's only these last 500 to 3,000 years where we don't. Doesn't that make sense? So the ones who believe in magic are really just remembering and here to help other people remember or not, or just to live your life as a magical being unapologetically. Reclaim it. There we go. Yeah, there's some more stuff that we don't have time to go into in the root chakra. Now restoring and aligning a sense of magic to that area. Go chakra by chakra just as a means of gauging these energy centers and what's around them and what they represent. So now in these lower three chakras, we're creating a foundation. Foundation that is starting to attune and align and remember its magical capabilities, its magical gifts of whatever kind, its magical purpose, its magical communication. It's more than just a sense. Can remember Trinity is embodiment built in. It's more of a lived expression. And it's not something that happens all at once. It's step by step. It takes a lot of work to remove. It can take a lot of work. And those who have done a lot of deep work know this for a fact. You can't take a weekend workshop and you can't affirmation it away. You can't love and bliss and light it away. Gotta go in. If you want to be love, if you want to be peace, gotta go in and look at what's not peaceful in your life, and not just in your current life, but in these deep dimensional aspects that most of us aren't even aware contribute to you and contribute to the collective. Trauma is, to me, the most systemic problem the human race has right now, unresolved trauma. There we go. Again, there's more work to do on the root chakra, but we'll just move along. So coming into the sacral, just focusing Trinity on the sacral. There's that fear, that self-image that says that's not possible. Not only is it not possible, that's not right. It's not, it's evil, it's demonic. Some of these religious principles, however you were raised, you know, even this recent holiday we had is named after a pagan goddess. But particular religions have co-opted the holidays and reinterpreted them, while at the same time stigmatizing the very origins of where they got them. Yep, so there's the fear, there's the self-image, there's the almost emotional blackmail. There we go. That sits in your sacral chakra, in your guts, in your lower organs, lower part of your kidneys, all the way down to your pelvis, in your lower spine. Yeah. Your tailbone. Yep, in your tailbone. Beautiful. Now restoring an alignment to Magick in your sacral chakra. It's very subtle, but it's just a lightening up your system. An invitation to remember. There we go. Now putting the structures in the sacral chakra. Both picking up and where we left off and realigning the sense of magic. So now that we laid the foundation, can you feel that sense of magic building? So now let's go into the solar plexus, your third chakra. Oh, yep. And there is, whoa, a lot of constriction here. And it's your sense of control. And the sense of control, again, says that this isn't possible. There's fear mixed with ignorance, mixed with disconnect. There we go. I'm putting in structures in your third chakra, which will need more time. There we go. And now your third chakra slowly dissolving constricted energy, that density, to the best of the time of the sample healing. And coming into attunement and alignment, remanifesting. What does remanifesting mean? Again, it's an alchemical response, reaction to change, transformation. It can be said to be awakening the magic within, and the blocks and the constriction and the density, the patterns, can be said to be a forgetfulness. It's a very easy way to describe it. Now coming into the heart. Ooh, there's a big sense of loss here, some fear, some even revulsion. Again, in our history, in our karmic history, in our ancestral history, the loss of magic wasn't always pleasant. And so to recognize this is to embrace those patterns within our heritage, not be attached to their story. And that takes work, it takes time, it takes new skills. And that's the wisdom you get for doing this kind of work, to learn not just resilience, but patience, compassion, what we call self awareness. You start to understand yourself better. Self, capital S. Yourself is not just this human being in this one lifetime, but a more expansive state, beingness that is more than this body. It is greater than this one life. There we go. Ooh, Trinity working overdrive on the heart here. There we go. And that sense of apathy, that disconnect, slowly dissolving away into the awe and wonder, curiosity, the magic, being restored. It's like your system wants to smile again. Remembering when we were kids and we had imaginary friends, or that time when you really had an experience where magic was possible. We've all had comic mystical experiences, or maybe we wouldn't be here. And if you haven't, maybe this is an invitation to bring it in, right? Coming into the throat. And there's the swallowing. All the times you've swallowed your magical expression. Even now, those of you who practice, do you have to hide it? It means you're swallowing your truth. When we talk about being our authentic selves, can we really be authentic, or do we have to find it in tribes? That's a swallowing of magic, the swallowing of your authentic self, the swallowing of your true nature. Oh, there's a lot there in your throat. And there we go. Sometimes when we spend more time on the lower chakras, the upper chakras go faster because we've created a foundation change. And we're not just focusing on the chakras, we're just using them as points of reference, as focal points of reference. Because these energy centers represent different functional functions within your physical body and within your energy system as a whole. different approaches even categorize the energy centers, the chakras differently, but we're just using them again as just focal points within your energy system to allow Trinity to work its magic, to restore your sense of magic by clearing out a part of you that feels like it lost it, and in fact did lose it. There we go. Now restoring and aligning, tuning, re-manifesting, awakening that sense of magic. Well, there's still some stuff in your jaw. That's okay. Coming into the brow chakra, the brain, the skull, the eyes, the ears, the nose. There's generally not a lot of karma here, but there tends to be some, especially around the third eye, and how the third eye may have been closed because of things you didn't want to see, or times when seeing was not safe. Internal seeing, your third eye kind of seeing. There we go. And again, it seems to move pretty quickly. Coming up into the crown, opening the crown to the extent that it's ready to receive. And spending the last few minutes of our session aligning, restoring, tuning, remanifesting, awakening the sense of magic. This may not be an immediate sense for you, or it may be maybe something that needs to settle, kind of like when we're working dimensionally, it's like we're working under the ground. When you're working under the ground, the top part, takes time to settle. And even as it's settling, maybe more can be shifted and moved. And so that's why replays can be so helpful. Aligning your whole entire energy system. The sense of magic. Taking a few minutes to integrate it. What does integration mean? For those of you who are looking at the clock, we're just going to go a few minutes on. Integration means that when you recognize you're dimensional, you recognize that you are connected to everyone and everything on a larger scale, so that when this particular puzzle that it has your name on it, has your experiences in it, is changed, like we pull this out or we reshape that, those puzzle pieces need to figure out how to come back together. in the right way that serves you in regards to everything else that's connected to it. So it's why when you have big shifts, you can feel really discombobulated or out of sorts for a while until you integrate. With Earthwork, we all get several choices of integrating sessions because we recognize we're constantly shifting. So integrating in all space, all time, all realities, all realms, all fields, interdimensionally, physicalizing, catching up. There we go. It really kind of solidifies that sense of magic being restored. Sometimes when you do a shift, it isn't until integration takes hold you can actually kind of feel everything going click, 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 click. And we're only doing a couple minutes of integration here. Imagine if you took more time. Integrating your chakras, of course, your energy bodies, organs, brain, your nervous system, the brain consciousness, any particular parts in the brain, like the amygdala, the pineal, going down to the gut brain for some of you, going into your biochemistry, vagus nerve, integrating what's called your life field, the sum of all your life experiences, your intelligence system, which has a multitude of energetic components. And I'm going to say all of consciousness, your overall system. And Jojo coming in to really enhance the sense of magic with seeds, seeds of light. Kind of like Tinkerbell came in with her wand and just goes, because Jojo works really by illuminating beauty. What is magic? Magic is understanding the beauty within. When you really truly know your magical self, you're walking and living and embodying the beauty of all of life. Beauty that you see in the sunset, that exists within you. The beauty you see in an exquisite flower or the laughter of your best friend or that perfect song, that melody. That's all magic. So Jojo seeding your system now. Little sparks of magic, especially going into any places that may still be dimmed a little bit or still need more work. Beautiful. Okay. Fortunately, our time has come to an end. We always end by sending this out to the world. It's already built into Trinity itself. We instantly work from the collective as the collective is part of you, but just acknowledging that the world too has a sense of loss of magic, as we talked about all throughout this session, and will benefit by being more connected, by restoring, by awakening. Sending out to your loved ones, all humanity, physical planet, up into the sky, deep into the soil, and everything in between, all sentient, non-sentient life. And they're all singing with joy because they too are built of magic. So we sing a Sanskrit mantra, which literally translates into, may we be led from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, from death to immortality, and may we be beings of peace, conduits for happiness and peace to be spread throughout the world. Om Asatoma Sakamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Tramgamaya Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Om Sri Gurmyo Namah Hari. Peace, peace, peace. May this restoration of magic awaken within all and create more peace. Filling the space with love to amplify and strengthen our intention here today, and also with gratitude. Gratitude for all that divine help we received, for you showing up for this night of restoring magic. And thank you for allowing me to be a conduit, lifting you up out of this space of grace. It is done. It is complete. So it is, so it is, so it is.